I just switched from the M4 iPad Pro to this here iPad mini 7th generation, and the results will shock you. Or maybe not. I'll just tell you my experience of what was obviously something that I needed to get used to because, well, these are two drastically different iPads that are definitely better equipped for different things. Now, this isn't going to be a comparison video technically between these two iPads because spec for spec, pound for pound, it's impossible to compare these fairly, but more of a review of the iPad mini 7th gen and what it's been like to use it as my main tablet over the last few weeks compared to my M4 iPad Pro. Now, the time where I use an iPad the most is obviously for travel, and I do travel quite a bit for my job, so I'm always carrying an iPad with me and some sort of MacBook. I used to do the 12.9-inch iPad Pro and a MacBook Pro, either 14 or 16-inch, and that's just way too much. Then I went down to an 11-inch iPad Pro, but still just a bit too much with a bigger MacBook. The iPad mini is the perfect size for traveling. It allows me to carry a bigger MacBook Pro in one part of my bag and then easily throw this in the bag or even in my coat pocket because that's how small it is. That smaller footprint obviously helps with this. Now, on the plane, I usually use my iPad Pro to do any of the work that's not editing or consuming media. And I do have the ability to edit if I need to, but I'm not usually doing full projects. The iPad mini is great for consuming content, albeit it's a bit of a smaller display than what I'm used to, and it's not nearly as nice as the Pro display, but you get used to that pretty quickly. It's more than enough to watch a few shows on my flights and get some work done. Now, on the other hand, getting work done, that's a little bit more of a challenge. Sure, I can check my email, I can respond to the ones that don't require me to type out quite a bit of information, and I can glance at messages from Slack or check what's coming down the pipeline in Notion, but I can't really do a whole lot more on the virtual keyboard. I'm just not cut out for that anymore. I desperately miss my Magic Keyboard case. Now, there's no first-party case for the iPad mini. I understand. That's probably not Apple's priority. This is just an iPad, and Apple wants you to use it more so like an iPad. But there are tons of different third-party options, and so I picked this one up here from Amazon because it gave me the most Magic Keyboard vibes. It's fine. It's Bluetooth, so you gotta connect and it drains battery pretty quickly. It gets the job done for when you need to type a lot in a quick pinch. It's also magnetic, like the iPad magnets that are already inside work with this case somehow. It's not the strongest hold, but it'll work for the most part. And yeah, I mean, it just kind of looks like a little mini Magic Keyboard, and I liked it. So if you're keeping score at home, that's a 10 out of 10 for portability, but I maybe give it a 5 or 6 out of 10 for productivity. I can bump it up to that 6 fairly confidently when I'm using the keyboard case, even though it's a small keyboard, things are crammed, but at least I can type pretty quickly and there's a little trackpad to move around the iPad when I need to. Obviously, the iPad mini excels at just about every other area of tablet life, like watching content, as I mentioned before, browsing social media apps, checking email, even playing games. And the A17 Pro that's inside this is fantastic for gaming. It's a really good gaming machine all on this little iPad, especially if you have Apple Arcade and you can take advantage of some of the better mobile games out there, or even the ones that support hardware-accelerated ray tracing, which you get on this iPad. Now, I'm not a gamer by any means, but oftentimes I do let my kids play a couple of games here and there, and they absolutely love doing so. I should also mention that having a 5G data plan on an iPad mini is also kind of a game changer. Really on any iPad, but I have it on the mini here. And so it's not new to this mini, but it's definitely new for me with this form factor. And as somebody who travels a lot and has an iPad with cellular options available, I definitely recommend it. I use it constantly in airports, hotels with bad Wi-Fi, when you're on the plane and you need to download an app quickly before takeoff. That is definitely a great option to have. Just makes it more versatile in my opinion. Now, if you're wondering what's new this year to the iPad mini 7, well, the biggest thing is what I mentioned before, and that's the A17 Pro chip. Not only is it great for gaming and the hardware-accelerated ray tracing, but it also gives you Apple Intelligence. While I personally don't use a ton of Apple Intelligence features on a regular basis, it is nice to have some of the writing tools, the notification summaries, and then when 18.2 drops, we'll have, Genmoji and Image Playground and all of that. So it's nice to have on this iPad. This iPad is also fantastic fantastic for note-taking, and the Apple Pencil Pro is now compatible with this iPad. And so if you're somebody who uses an Apple Pencil a ton, the Apple Pencil Pro is a fantastic upgrade because it gives you some other features that you didn't have before, like pressure sensitivity, gestures, and haptic feedback. Also, Apple Pencil Hover is not an exclusive Apple Pencil Pro feature, but it wasn't on the last generation, and so you do get that compatibility in this model. So with the Apple Pencil, if you're taking a ton of notes, if you're a student, it's going to be great for you. If you're a graphic designer and you want a smaller canvas to draw on, you're going to love it. And now, as I mentioned earlier, you can finally edit in Final Cut Pro on the iPad mini, and you can also use Logic if you need to. But I'm still pretty hesitant in using those Pro apps on this small display and this form factor. But if I have Final Cut Pro on this iPad and I'm in a pinch and need to maybe make an edit for a social media short or something, it's great to know that I have this here just in case I need to do something like that on the go. Lastly, for those wondering about the whole jelly scrolling thing, I'm gonna be honest, I never once noticed that was a thing. People talked about it. I guess in some examples I could see it, but in my real world experience, even on the last generation that supposedly had this issue, I never really noticed it. I'm not also scrolling this fast. Like, I feel like that's the only way people were able to show you what the jelly scrolling was like. It's like, oh, if I scroll up and down really fast, like, who's doing that? So if you're one of those people who you had the last gen and the jelly scrolling was prevalent and it drove you crazy, and you want to make sure it's not on this one, I mean, you can always buy it, and if it is, you can return it. But also, just don't do that and go to the Apple Store, check out an iPad mini, do the test or whatever you need to do, and see for yourself. And if it's not there, then great, pick one up. Otherwise, I can confidently recommend the iPad mini to just about anyone who wants to use this as a fantastic travel companion tablet, laying in bed, a little bit of media, a little bit of reading. It's obviously a great form factor, very Kindle-esque size for reading if you want to. If you need to get some light work done, you can do that too. But if you're thinking like, oh, I'm gonna use this as my main computer, I wouldn't do that, but hey, give it a shot, to each their own. Of course, I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What do you think about the latest gen iPad mini? I don't know if I'm gonna switch back to the iPad Pro. I do really like carrying this around, especially when I'm trying to travel light. And I now use the 14-inch MacBook Pro, so that helps a little bit, but I don't know, I just like having this little guy thrown in the bag and used for my flights when I need to. And now that I have a smaller MacBook, I can use that for work on the tray table, on the plane. So I think I'm gonna stick with it, but let me know in the comments down below what you think. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.